How are you all doing tonight? My name is Bigbobbedboi, and welcome to a hunter's guide to the Wrath pet changes. Pets change massively going into Wrath. We're going to cover these changes from tip to butt and give a few recommendations to get you started on pets to grab for Wrath. The small stuff before the big stuff. Pets no longer have a loyalty level. It is completely gone. Your pet will never abandon you, no matter how much you neglect it. Pet happiness does remain and affects your pet damage, just like in Classic and TBC. However, you won't have to feed your pet nearly as much now. Glyph of Mend Pet adds an IV to your Mend Pet or something because it causes your Mend Pet to slightly increase your pet's happiness. Some pets did have their diets change a little bit, but it's not a huge deal with the glyph existing now, and there are some other ways to increase pet happiness. You will still be feeding them pet treats for the stat buff though. Pet leveling is way easier than it was previously. A pet will never be more than 5 levels below your own. So if you tame a pet that's level 30 while you're level 70, it will instantly level up to 65. Even if you have an old pet in the stable that you never leveled, it will level up as soon as you pull it out. The amount of XP required for a pet to level has also been reduced, effectively making pet leveling gone. Pets also gain a lot more of the hunter's stats compared to TBC. Alright, on to some bigger stuff. Stable slots. We now get 2 more stable slots. They cost 50 gold and 150 gold to unlock. There's also a huge quality of life improvement with stable slots. Call Stabled Pet. This gives you access to your stable from just about anywhere. Ever zone into a dungeon only to realize you brought the wrong pet? Hunter Jesus is not pleased, but we've all been there. Now you can just use Call Stabled Pet to swap it out during the dungeon. It does have a 5-minute cooldown, and you only have access to the stable for around a minute though, so be quick. And now the really big stuff. Pet training is completely gone. No more taming pets to learn new abilities. No more training spell resistances. Pet families no longer have unique stats. Yeah, this is a massive overhaul. Side note, you still have to do the level 10 hunter quest on a new hunter, even though it won't teach you pet training. It will teach you how to do call pet, feed pet, and tame beast still. So what is replacing pet training and pet family stats? Standard abilities and talent trees. We'll cover the abilities first. Within a pet family, all pets have the same abilities and you can't change them. This sounds boring, and it is slightly, but overall I think this is a good change. There are a ton of new abilities spread among these pet families, so we'll have more abilities that are much more interesting, and we'll use a wider variety of pets. All pets get growl, cower, some kind of focus dump like claw or bite, which bite no longer has a cooldown. It's just a basic dump exactly the same as claw, and one ability that is unique to the pet family. These abilities rank up automatically as the pets level up. There are 32 pet families, so I'm not going to list all of them here, just a few new and unique ones, but I will put a link to the archived Wrath Petopia so you can see the full list if you want to check that out. Ravagers, instead of gore, now have Ravage, which stuns. Serpents get a poison spit that has a Curse of Tongues effect. Spiders finally get Web, rooting for 4 seconds on a 40-second cooldown. Tall Striders get Dust Cloud, which makes all enemies within 10 yards miss their next attack with a 40-second cooldown. Wasps get a Fairy Fire effect with Sting, which also does a good amount of damage. Furious Howl gets a huge buff, giving melee and ranged attack power to the Wolf and the Hunter, 20 seconds with a 40-second cooldown. Not a group buff anymore. Rhinos have Stampede, causing the target to take additional bleed damage. Birds of Prey get a Disarm with Snatch, lasts for 6 seconds on a 1-minute cooldown. I think these are some of the most interesting ones, but like I said, there's a lot of new abilities, and they are almost all more interesting than previous pet abilities. There is a slight exception to having one pet family ability, and that's Prowl. If a pet has Prowl, it still gets another ability. Alright, and now the talents. We have 32 pet families, but pets are also broken up into type, of which there are 3. Cunning. These are the generalist / utility pets, stuff like spiders, bats, and ravagers. Ferocity. These are the DPS focused pets. Cats, raptors, wolves, and moths for some reason. Tenacity. These are the big beefy boys. They can tank. Bears, boars, worms, and turts. In Classic and TBC, pet families had modifiers for stats. That's gone. Stats are based on pet type. All cunning pets have the same stats, and all ferocity pets have the same stats. Each type also has its own talent tree. As you would expect, Tenacity has talents for better tanking like Intervene, Roar of a Sacrifice, and even a Taunt, although it has a long cooldown. Cunning has more DPS talents like Wolverine Bite, but a few defensives too, like Roar of Sacrifice and Bullheaded. I think Ferocity is the most interesting tree. Heart of the Phoenix will instantly revive your pet if it dies on an 8-minute cooldown. Lick Your Wounds, a full pet heal with a 5-second channel, a DPS cooldown with Rabid, and the Chef's Kiss. Charge. Only downside to the talents, in my opinion, is you are kind of limited on points, so you're probably not going to be able to get all the fun stuff in a single tree. Exotics and the new pet families. Wrath brings 9 new pet families. Moths and wasps are 2 of the new ones, and they can be tamed by anyone. Owl also gets merged into the Birds of Prey family. The other 7 new families are classified as exotic pets. The only way you can tame an exotic pet is with the 51-point BM talent, which is very aptly called Beast Mastery. If you tame a pet as BM and respec, you do not lose the pet, but you can't access it. The new exotic pet families are worms, rhinos, devilsaurs, silithids, chimeras, corehounds, and spirit beasts. The other ones are kind of self-evident, but spirit beasts are completely new in Wrath. There are 4 of them. 2 cats, a wolf, and a bear. All of them are rare spawns in Northrend. And when I say rare, I actually mean that. They are pretty damn rare. What makes it even worse, they are required for the Kill All Rares and Northrend achievement, so they are camped by hunters looking to tame them, and people wanting to knock out that achievement. But damn, they look cool. I have heard people say before that the ghost cat from Darkshore is also a spirit beast, but the PTR has been down in perpetuity, so I can't even get on there to check that, but I don't think it is. Exotic pets are usually just a more version of existing pets. Silithid's Venom Web Spray is an upgraded version of the Spider's Web. Corehound's Breath is an upgraded version of Serpent's Poison Spit. Devilsaur probably has the most unique ability. It's a stacking damage buff called Monstrous Bite. And that pretty much covers the pet changes we'll see going into Wrath, but like I said, I want to give off a few recommendations for pets to grab going into Wrath, with one caveat here. This shit ain't even out yet. Wrath Classic launches next month, so some of this could change. There are good people doing work on the beta, but it's constantly down, and we'll have a lot more data when everyone gets access to the game. So with that said, for raid DPS, Wolf is back. Like Wulfric the Wanderer, wolves are undeniable. Howl receives a huge buff in Wrath, and just like in Classic, it's really the only pet that contributes to your damage when it's not able to go in and attack. We're probably going to be using wolves for all of Wrath. I've had Snarler since the first week of Classic, and I am really happy to bring him back out and take him to Northrend. If for some reason you just hate wolves, the other ferocity pets are not terribly far behind, especially Wasp. Sting is quite strong, but they are all a loss compared to Wolf in pretty much every case. What about if you're BM? Well, it's kind of shit. Devilsaurs can pull ahead of wolves, but it's going to be dependent on gear and uptime, so you'll still probably use a wolf. people are definitely going to ask, so yeah. Spirit beasts look cool as hell, but their DPS is unfortunately just not that high. You get them because they look badass, not because of their DPS. And the pets for PvP, obviously it's going to be situational. There may be an occasion where you want the disarm, or you want the fairy fire effect from Sting, but in general, you'll use either a crab or a spider. So the spider web is super good. A 20-yard range web. You're going to use that all the time. Crab also gets a 4-second root. It's channeled, and he has to be in melee range, so it's not quite as good as the spider version, but he's a lot harder to kill than the spider, and he has intervene. Intervene, I remember being seriously inconsistent in original Wrath, especially on the Lordaeron map and sometimes Blade's Edge for some reason. But if it works as it should, I'll probably go for Crab because you can get a lot of mileage out of Intervene in arenas. Otherwise, probably going Spider. Shit, that covers everything, I think. I have a lot of other videos on the pipeline here. It'll probably be a few videos before I get back to a hunter specific one. But let me know, would you rather see a video on the rare, unique, and new pets, which is like the ones I did for TBC and Classic, just Wrath, or a video on Hunter pre-raid Biss in Wrath? I'm going to do both, but I'll let you guys choose the order. Let me know in them comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit that sub button, bell, like button, hell yeah, wolves are back button, share button, all that other shit. I really do appreciate each and every one I get. This channel even has memberships now. You can check them out by clicking the join button, right by the sub button. I stream right here on YouTube. I hope you'll join me. But that is going to be all for this one. I really appreciate you all watching, and I will see you all for the next one.